Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to another episode of Living with a Mazda MX-5. Now, as you can probably tell by the title, today I'm fitting wheel spacers. Now, wheel spacers are a funny one because they seem to be a massive topic for debate. Now, some people say they are the devil's work and some people say they're absolutely fine. Put them on, as long as you put them on properly, you'll be as good as gold. Now, the reason why wheel spacers kind of get a bad rep because it gives you more unsprung weight to the car. Also, it can, well, some people say it can wear out to your wheel bearings, and some people will like to give you horror stories. Conversely, there are some people that have been running wheel spacers for years and haven't had any problems. So I thought, you know what, let me give it a go myself. I'm going to take the plunge and fit wheel spacers to my car to see whether or not I like it or not, because I may fit them and not really like the handling. Now, the reason why I'm fitting them is because, as you will soon see, I'm going to drop some clips into this video. The alloys at the moment, they're quite sunken in the arches, particularly on the rear axle, and I want to bring the alloys out a little bit more and just to make it look cosmetically better. But of course, I am also interested in the performance side of things, improving the handling and so forth. Obviously, when you put wheel spacers on, you are effectively changing the track of your car. You're making your car wider in essence. Now, the wheel spacers I've got, they are from a company called Jass Performance. I will put a link to the item description below. These ones are 25mm. As you can see, they are rather thick. Now, the wheel spacers, they feel quite well made. They feel very kind of sturdy. Even the nuts feel well made. So I do have a lot of confidence in this product already. However, I do have one or two gripes. So one or two of them came scuffed. Now this one's fine. I've got no issues with that one whatsoever. If I bring the box around like so, I need to find them first. This one has got a little scuff just here, which you may not be able to see on camera. I know my fingernails are dirty. But yes, a little scuff there. And this one down here in the branded box, which I quite like. There we go. And this one here, you may see a bit of scuffing there. Now, it's not the end of the world, and I'm not overly fussed because once they're on the car, you won't see them. But I just wanted to point it out. Now, in case you are wondering, these were £68 for a pair. So obviously you need two pairs because you do have two axles. If you've only got one axle for your car, something's gone wrong. So yes, so £68 for one pair, for one axle. So in total, that's £136. I had to do my maths really quickly there. About time I actually fit them. So of course, you will need to jack the car up. I do have chocks at the front for safety. This drive is on a bit of a slant, but yeah, I've got no real issues, but it's good to have the chocks there anyway. I do need to jack the car up, so if I bring it around here, I think we will have a little montage. Oh, right, so as you can see, the car is now jacked up and the wheel is ready to be removed. Now, just a quick one. If you are looking to get wheel spacers, I and a lot of other people would thoroughly recommend getting hub-centric ones. Now, if you don't know what hub-centric means, I will explain in a few moments. Now, I'm far from an engineer or a mechanical genius, far from it. So I'll do my best to explain it in the simplest way I can, but in all honesty, it is pretty simple. Now, if you're looking at some eBay specials, or perhaps you're looking at universal wheel spacers, I wouldn't recommend it. However, God, that's filthy, absolutely filthy. However, what I would say is, if you don't go for hub-centric ones, a lot of people will say they are okay as long as you're only going for, let's say, 5mm. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going for 25mm, and if you were to buy spacers that aren't hub-centric for 25mm, well, you'd be a fool, an absolute fool. So yes, don't do that, kids. Stay safe. Right, hands are absolutely filthy. Right, so before we actually get cracking, what you may want to do is you may want to clean this up. So yes, I've got some brake cleaner here, Halford Special. Now, some of you may remember, if you saw the video from when I put the brakes on, I, quite stupidly, I put copper grease on everything, but I put them on the threads, which, no, it's not a very good idea. So I've just wiped the excess off. So yes, don't do that, because you want the grease to be everywhere else apart from the threads, because obviously you don't really want the nuts coming loose. So that was a very stupid move of me, and I wouldn't recommend that. So yes, don't do that. But I've got my trusty brake cleaner here, which will help get rid of that grease, and I'll be ready to put the wheel spacer on. So I've now given the hub a good clean. So it's now time to put the wheel spacer on. But before I do that, I've got my trusty copper grease, or as it's called, copper ease. There we go. That was about £8 or so from Halfords. So what you want to do is you want to put it around the spigot, if that's the correct technical term, and obviously apply it to the hub, but not the screws like I did last time. So don't put it onto the threads. So I'm just going to pop it on with a little cloth. So just use it quite liberally, but just avoid getting it on the threads. So I've got the wheel spacer here. Now let me explain more about what I mean about hub centric. Now, if I turn it like so, you can see, well, when the autofocus wants to do its job, you can see there's a lip just here. So basically, the whole reason for having this, let me just show you. There we go. Oh, hand-eye coordination fell. That's quite a good shot. Let me just touch it there. So the whole idea of having this is that it gives the wheel something to centre onto. So if this wasn't here, the wheel wouldn't sit in place properly, and you'd get vibrations, it would rattle, and yes, that wouldn't be very good. Okay, so before I pop this on, you're going to want to grease the back of this as well. So you can't see what I'm doing. My hand-eye coordination is rubbish. You wouldn't believe I used to be a goalkeeper. Right, and that's now ready to go on like so. Right. Okay, so make sure it's on nice and tight. So that's fine. So nuts have come with the spacer. I don't believe all hub-centric spacers come with additional nuts. So bear that in mind when you are purchasing. But included in the price, I do have these nuts. As you would with an alloy wheel, when you tighten the nuts, do it in a star configuration. So I'm going to start with this one. Right, get it nice and centered. Right, and you'll also need to make sure you torque these up to the specified setting that your manufacturer states. What am I doing? I said a star setting, Aaron. That is not a star. Right, there we go. As you can see, we have one spacer now on. That feels pretty secure. Now, what you'll want to do next is just to apply a bit of copper grease to this bit here, so the wheel doesn't seize onto it. Again, really try to avoid the threads. And if you want, you can just do it around as well. Again, just avoid those threads. I know I'm probably sound like a broken record. What you may want to do, if I just bring you around here. Oh, there's my Ibiza. So you may just want to clean the inside of your alloy. Let me bring you guys up. So you may want to clean the inside of this and put a bit of copper grease on here as well. So let me do that. Now, another thing to bear in mind when you're putting wheel spacers on is obviously you're going to be changing the offset of your wheel. Now, some would argue you could just buy aftermarket alloys at the offset that you require or desire, and that's all good and well, but unfortunately some people don't always have the budget for that, and spacers are a cheaper alternative. Oh yeah, already that, I must admit, that looks pretty epic. So obviously you can't tighten this wheel up to the max until it is back on the ground. So just put them on by hand for the time being. And then in a few moments I can pop the car back down. Right, time to do the same for the other side. So what you've just seen, repeat it. So to give you a bit of before and after, so that's no spacer, and let's try and get a similar shot. It's kind of similar. That's with the spacer. Yeah, that is looking good. Despite making good progress, I kind of ran out of light. Oh dear. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the typical British summer. Yes, yesterday we had lovely sunshine, and today, well, we have this. Anyway, I did run out of daylight yesterday, but more crucially, I didn't run out of time. The job is done, and I am delighted to show you the fruits of my labour. So, here we go. Looking good. Yes, I must say the stance is definitely better, especially at the rear. You can actually see the alloys now, fantastic. And if I get you here, you can see a cheeky bit of the spacer as well. Now, I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but each spacer weighs 0.85 kilograms, which equates to about 1.8 pounds, in case you are wondering. But what do you think, guys? I would, of course, put some before and after shots in, but look at that, that's now sitting flush with the bodywork. That's looking pretty epic, I must say. Yep, I am quite pleased with the aesthetics that the spacers have achieved. So, an easy mod to fit, not too badly priced considering, and as you can see, it has enhanced the look of Monique. So yes, I definitely think she is looking better. Now, if you have any questions about the spacers or you know, fitting or anything like that, please do let me know. Now, there will be a video talking about how the driving characteristics have changed, if there are any changes. So be sure to tune in for that video. So if you aren't already, please do subscribe, and of course ring my bell so you get notified every time I make a video. But yes, there will be a video coming of the driving characteristics now that these spacers are on. That is literally the next video I'm going to film, which won't be the fairest comparison, because yesterday it was dry and today is wet, but it needs to be today because tomorrow I'll have new tyres, so therefore it will be an even unfairer comparison, if that makes sense. So anyway, yes, I hope you have enjoyed this video. One more thing before I do go, actually. When you do the front wheels, you will need to have someone operating the brake, or you can use the screwdriver method, which I had to do for this side, because for whatever reason, even when my dad was pressing the brake pedal, that hub was still spinning a bit, so I will need to get that looked into. But I am getting a free brake check tomorrow, so the garage can have a look at that, because obviously, as you may know, I fitted the brakes myself and I'm far from a mechanical genius. Ooh, look at that mud there. Oh, disgusting. Anyway, on that note, it really is time for me to end. So, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If so, be sure to like, subscribe, and to ring my bell so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.